Hi, I'm Xinrou. Today, I want to talk about internet censorship in China as an oppression of human rights. What is internet censorship in China? According to the Order of State Council of the People's Republic of China, Article 594, Internet use in China should exclude the information that damage the nation's peace and dominance. Therefore, the basic function of internet censorship is to ensure China's peace and the Communist Party's dominance. Back to 2006, Google was banned. Recently, in 2017, VPN services were pulled from Chinese Apple Store. This year, foreign TV shows become the victims. They are removed from online platforms. What's more, comments and posts related to negative sides of political topics are deleted on Chinese social media. Therefore, China's censorship can be concluded as ban foreign websites because they may or may not contain the content that damage the image of the Communist Party and block Chinese citizens' voices by deleting what they said online. Let's look at this picture. This is a picture from the website of the Freedom House organization, and it shows China's internet freedom score. 100 points means least free, and China is scored 87 out of 100. Specifically, for the violations of user rights, China is scored 40 out of 40. From this picture, we see that China is totally not free for the use of internet. Internet censorship is a problem in China, and it's urgent to solve this problem. But why? First, let's look at this picture. In this picture, there is a poster saying that China is human suffering. Internet censorship is a vivid example to explain why China is human suffering. What behind internet censorship is blocking human rights. The power of the Great Firewall in China is getting more and more stronger. And China's internet censorship is just like a dark blanket which covers the brightness came from various voices and demands. Therefore, we need human rights. Freedom of speech is a tool of democracy, and it is a form of human rights. In many countries, this form of freedom are provided by the Constitution and strongly advocated for by human rights groups and individuals. However, in China, citizens are deprived of human rights, and they only have limited access to achieve this kind of democracy. For example, journalists in China are warriors and victims of internet censorship. Journalists' posts concerning China's development under dictatorship and advocating for democracy are blocked online. Amnesty International, which is a non-government organization which focuses on human rights, notes that China has the largest recorded number of imprisoned journalists and cyber dissidents in the world, and China is rated as the world's biggest prison for netizens. In my HCP, I found there are two major causes for internet censorship in China. For one is China's political style. China has a long history of one-party regime. The Communist Party in China has great power in making decisions, setting values, and expanding the function of the government. Therefore, the government should have the ability to use tools of communication to advance its agenda. For another is Chinese culture. China has a long tradition of one emperor dominance. Throughout history, no matter how political regime has changed, there was only one leader exercising authority respectively. Therefore, the emperor can do everything to maintain the dominance of the regime. Internet censorship is an example of that. Look at this picture. this picture says that China human rights is totally a failure. Since human rights are limited in China and the central problem of internet censorship is limiting citizens' freedom of speech and their access in cyberspace, my focus for advocacy project is mainly on promoting democracy and giving citizens human rights. Here are two solutions. For one is unblock the blocked websites, give citizens access to those websites, and I'll explain more in details later. For another is ensure citizens' freedom of speech and protect different voices online by loosening the policy of internet censorship. Let's talk about the first solution. Unblock the blocked websites and give citizens more access. What is prevented by the government can be used as a weapon against internet censorship. And the voices of more than a million users of internet in China is more than enough to start a revolution. And the same way technology is used against almost a billion users of the internet, it's the same way it can be used to defeat its censors. And Chinese citizens have millions of ways to combat the Great Firewall of China. According to a research, almost 20 million people in China use Netflix, yet Netflix is not allowed to offer its services in the country. This is done through the masking the location of computers in the nation. VPNs are able to unlock the Great Firewall and the world that is forbidden in China. Even though this worries the government and crackdowns have been conducted against such private networks, the fight will never stop. If 20 million people can watch movies on Netflix in China, then the entire population should have the ability to use the internet freely. Citizens can always find ways to combat the Great Firewall of China. Therefore, why don't Chinese government just unblock those websites, satisfying what citizens want? For the second solution, loosening the policy of internet censorship ensures citizens' freedom of speech and protect different voices online. According to a journal article, proponents of internet censorship think that different views are not only irresponsible and wasteful, but also subversive and a nuance. Standardization and consensus are logical and sensible goals for mass communication. However, these views are totally illogical. All human beings cannot have the same opinions for different topics, such as abortion or even for democracy. Because of that, fighting diversity in views is actually fighting human nature. This is impossible. Standardization of mass communication through internet history is therefore preventing human beings from exercising their inherent rights. According to the theory of natural rights, freedom of speech is an inherent human right. What's more, free speech allows the government to be held accountable at all times. Free speech allows the government to be criticized and held responsible when necessary, and free speech may be the most essential vehicle of getting the truth out. Therefore, it's very necessary to loosen the policy of internet censorship, ensure citizens' freedom of speech, and protect different voices online. Thanks for watching. These are just rough ideas for my advocacy project, and the proposed solutions may be too broad. Therefore, I'm looking forward to your suggestions and feedback, and I'll appreciate that. Thank you. Bye.